Hey there, comic book friends, I'm Travis. It's time for another edition of What the Fugue, where I talk about what's going on with me in my week of comics. How's it going, everybody? What's going on this week? Let's see. Let's start out with what I've heard is a rumor. Now it seems to be picking up speed. Kind of a what if. I don't know if it's anything real confirmed, obviously, or whatnot. But there is talk that in 2015 that Marvel will pull a DC New 52 and reboot their entire universe with the new launching of I think coinciding with the movies and stuff like that, that they'll be relaunching the entire Avenger line, and in the process basically re-kickstart everything in New 52 style. Which of course I find morbidly interesting and doesn't really concern me, because I mean I read Marvel books, but I am not reading the books that are heavy in continuity and part of the greater Marvel universe, so I don't have to go through the aches and pains that I went through with the New 52. And I have to admit there's a sadistic part of me that is going to enjoy watching the Marvel fanboys who laughed when DC was rebooted, and those of us who are big DC fans were going through all of our angst, chuckled and laughed. It'll be real curious to see how you all respond to it. Is it going to be no big deal like it was when it was DC's universe that was being flushed down the toilet and started all over? I don't know. So they'll be real curious to see what that is. I mean, I'm assuming that it'll affect the of course, the Marvel books that I do read, and I have to admit the Marvel books I do read I really enjoy, but I'm not invested in the universe, so if they choose to restart everything over again, it would be no big deal for me as far as that goes. I think it's a mistake, just like it was a mistake with DC. Not so much the relaunching the entire universe, but if they release all brand new number ones for all their books, all month long, it will suffer the same problems a lot of the DC fringe books did. You can't keep up with, those fringe books can't compete with the main titles. And if everything's relaunching, you only got X number of dollars. Inevitably, people gravitate towards the big name comics, the Avengers and the X-Men books, and any of the fringe books will suffer or be gone. They won't last, because that's obviously what happened with the DC universe. The big name titles were the ones that hung around, and all the lesser known stuff never got the audience that it probably deserved, some of those books, and we don't have any more because of that. So that'll be curious though. 2015, we're what, mere 3 or 4 months out from that. I don't know exactly when in 2015. I haven't read the articles that are like on Newsarama about it and whatnot, because I still kind of see it as being more rumor mill than anything else. And of course, I'm feeding into the frenzy of it. But I was going to say I shouldn't be, but I am. Because it'll be curious. It'll be really interesting to see exactly if they really do that, especially after 3 years, basically, of Marvel shitting on DC for doing it. You know, talk about how horrible it was, about how what a poor way to treat its fans and everything. And really, all along, Marvel's been doing the exact same thing DC did. They've just been kind of pussyfooting around about it and just kind of slowly doing little, rebooting Daredevil, rebooting, Captain America, rebooting Thor, rebooting, just constantly starting them out with number ones. Maybe not the hard reboot of the DC universe, but still doing all the other bits and pieces of it, just not doing the, it's not going for the full Monty, as it were. But yeah, so it'll be curious. It'll be curious to see if they actually do that. If they do a line-wide, all number ones, all across the board, and if they actually, reshift the universe to make things match up and coincide more. That could be a total disaster. It could be great. Who knows? I will gladly watch Rome burn, and I'll try not to laugh too hard at the people. I know, I'm so mean this week. At any rate, let's see what else is going on. Congratulations to Mr. DaCosta, John DC DaCosta, as he used to be called back in the day. this week, I believe, was his 2-year anniversary on YouTube. Congratulations to him. Always puts out fun videos. All of his, most known for his bathroom videos. The guy that will puke on books and all kinds of other crazy stuff. Not that he ever actually puked on books, but I distinctly remember him being one of the people who definitely retches a lot if the books are bad enough. But anyway, really enjoyed John. Enjoyed talking with John. He's had some great shows in the past. The Bat Chat. I was always privileged to be on Bat Chat. Was always a lot of fun. Had him on my shows more than a few times, and always appreciate his input and his love for the medium and collecting comic books has always been a joy. So congratulations on 2 years. Certainly hope to see more going forward, and yeah, pretty cool. What else is going on with this? Comic Book Roundtable should be on Friday, the normal time, unless I suddenly get a lot of messages from people who want to be on, and Saturday works better. But I believe this week, Friday is the day that it'll be on. Last week's Comic Book Roundtable, if you missed it, you should check some of it out. It was a great show. Had lots of guests on, lots of smart, savvy comic book readers were on the show, and it was a great show. Definitely enjoyed it. Hopefully we'll get some of them to come back soon and continue to have a good time doing that. This week will be an interesting week for me as far as comic books go. I have one DC comic this week, and the rest of my entire poll is independent books. The whole thing, all independent books. So be curious to see. Well, not see, but just it's going to be interesting. And it'll be an interesting comic roundtable from my perspective, because all of my books are going to be kind of more off the wall kinds of things. Well, I guess really Saga isn't off the wall anymore, is it? Everybody reads it, right? So anyway, so there's that. What else going on? Not a whole lot else as far as news that I'm aware of. Haven't, to tell you the truth, I haven't been paying that close attention to the news sites. Like I said, I'm trying to shy more and more away from them because it's feeling more and more like it's not news and more of the scandal kind of a deal. So we'll see what that really ends up being like. So things I did do this week. Well, actually, the last couple weeks, kind of forgot about it last week. I've read some trades. I'm going to talk about some of those trades here. That's usually what I do when we want the Fugue, because I don't have any playlists to talk about trades, and I don't want to make a separate video for that. So some things that I picked up and have read. Of course, I picked this up in Vegas, Strange Attractors by Charles Scholl. Excellent book. Really enjoyed this. It's basically a guy is working on his final math thesis. He gets himself introduced to a possibly mad mathematical genius who is using basically the butterfly effect, a variant of the butterfly effect, to control the comings and goings of New York City to keep it healthy and functioning. What keeps the whole thing from just crashing and falling apart at the seams? And this young man gets involved in that and in the machinations of how it runs, and it's just kind of a really cool book. I really like it. I like mathematic type things that have to do with mathematics and whatnot. Always kind of intrigue me. So this was really enjoyable art. Just all around great book. I recommend it if you want a book that's not superheroes at all. Has to do with basically normal Joes, trying to live their lives, trying to write a thesis, and this idea of taking this quantum physics and butterfly effect to the effect of, if I spill a can of paint in Times Square at the right time, does that shift people around in places enough to alleviate some tension in one part of the city to help it out or whatever, that sort of thing. Really interesting. Great book. I also did get around to reading Velvet. This is the first volume. Brubaker and Epting on the book. I didn't pick this up in singles, always kind of curious about it. I'm not a huge spy fan, so I'd be kind of hesitant. Another book I picked up when I was at the Vegas Comic-Con, got this signed by the artist. I enjoyed it. As far as if you like spy type stories, great story. It really is. Velvet, Miss Templeton, great character. She's interesting. You know, it has that all kind of double agent, you know, backstabbing stuff going on, trying to figure out the mystery. All enjoyable stuff as far as it goes. I don't know if I'll be picking up more of these. I'll find a good deal on them. Maybe I'll pick up the next trade. Like I said, I'm not a huge spy fan, but it was a decent deal on it, and I like supporting creators who are there selling work. So that's one of the reasons why I picked it up, because I was curious about it. So for that, it is enjoyable. It's a pretty decent book. I know a lot of people are reading it in singles, but yeah, enjoyable. And also, I finished reading Chew, which is another one of the trades that I picked up while I was at Vegas Comic-Con. I had this one signed by the writer John Layman. Funny book. I really enjoyed it. It was interesting. This first trade feels like it definitely sets up the bigger whatever, the bigger picture that's going on. It kind of wets our whistle as to what it's going to be like, and it's entertaining. There's a certain level of comedy to it that I really enjoyed. There's some great characters in here. The whole bird flu thing, kind of curious if that's even remotely real. I'll have to find somebody else who's actually reading these things to have them spoil that part for me, because I am pretty curious about that, as to whether or not that's really legitimate, or if it really is some sort of government cover-up of some sort about something else or whatnot. But entertaining. Not super excited by it, but I will be picking up at least the next trade to see what it's like. It's been fun. Probably wish I would have picked it up in singles as it was coming out in singles back when it first came out. I just kind of at the last moment made a decision not to pick it up, because I didn't think really somebody would pull off the premise of the fact that our main character eats dead flesh and gets their history and all that. Sounded cool, but I didn't think somebody was going to pull it off, and so I chose not to get it at the time, which is probably regrettable. So, anyway, that's my What the Fugue. I really don't have tons to talk about. Hope to see y'all on Friday. I know I keep saying it. I'll try to manage the comments well enough that we can actually comment back. This last time, there were enough people actually on the show that I didn't spend as much time looking at the comments, because the show ended up going, what, 2.5 hours long or something like that. And with comments, it was going to even go longer. So if we have a smaller group on the show, I'll pay a little closer attention to your comments. I do read them. I just don't always comment about them as they're coming out. If what you're saying is pertinent to what we're talking about, or you're providing us information, certainly I'm going to say something and say who it is that helped us out on that. So I do appreciate everybody who tunes into that. I was especially amazed. The last show was a Saturday. It was the season premiere of Doctor Who, and shockingly there was as many people on as there was watching the show. That's really cool, and I really appreciate it. And I appreciate all the support, and I'll see you later on in the week with more videos and the roundtable, and hey, whatever else comes up. Have a great one, everybody.